What's going on, everybody? My name is Tamar Turner, and I am the host of the Down to Business podcast, where the mission is to really provide exposure to businesses, entrepreneurs, and artists all around the world in their respective crafts. And we do so through audio and visual interviews where we come on and we talk about all things from getting into the business to most memorable moments to even some advice that you may give for other business owners and entrepreneurs out there. So if this sounds like something that you would be interested in, we'd love to have you on for an interview. Please be sure to reach out via any social media platform and we'll definitely get back to you. But until then, enjoy this episode. So I want to welcome everybody back to another episode of the Down to Business podcast, but not just any episode today. As you can see, we're live here, live and direct. We got some nice views behind us. We're having a great time, and I'm actually very excited to be doing this episode just because it's on cameras. I know a lot of people have been giving me some feedback just about trying to get better with things and trying to do some more with it and trying to just be more appealing. So I'm happy, and who better to do it with than my dog here, my dog Kendrick. Like I said, we out here having a good time. My birthday weekend, so did a little bit of that. But Kendrick, how you feeling today, bro? How's your weekend been?
It's been a blessing, man.
Okay.
Blessing.
For sure.
A lot of fun.
Okay. So what are we here to talk about today? I know that this podcast is all about getting down to business, putting black entrepreneurs, black business owners on, really just talking about their craft, what they do. So specifically with you, I just know you're so multifaceted, so talented. What we talking about today? What we working on?
Sheesh. I guess we're talking about For The People.
Okay. So with the name alone just lets me know that obviously you just want to appeal to crowds. You want to serve people. You want to help out. But what specifically about For The People really got you started? Really was the motivation behind it?
I mean, a lot of it comes from just the background and living situations. I mean, culture I grew up around, and just trying to do what I can for my people.
Would you say that this is something where, like you said, it kind of got started with your environment, your kind of how you grew up? Would you say that this is something that you just want to stick to, kind of where you came from, build that foundation there, or are you looking to go global, international with it?
I think it's bigger than I expected really fast. So at first I was centered around being at home, making sure home is taken care of. But then you start to see it's much more you need to reach.
Absolutely.
And touch. So I think it'll go even further.
When thinking about kind of like you said, just the shoot up, just how everything kind of came together so fast and you just weren't expecting it all, do you attribute that to anything specifically, or do you think it was kind of just you just hit the ground running?
God's plan. That's nothing less. I never imagined, thought, believed. It was for me.
What are some of the services that For The People offers for those out there just wondering, just needing to know?
Man, well, For The People started out first as a bail bonding company. It was actually called For The People Bail Bonding, and quickly grew once I left the pharmaceutical industry to a lawn care service. And in the lawn care service, it was a battle between, do I start the lawn care or do I do the pressure washing company first? And I actually chose lawn care because it was something I grew up doing every Saturday when you didn't like it. And it was a skill I was really already talented with. Then that quickly became, well, you need to do something. The off season coming in, whatever. And then the off season started a trucking company. And I was like, well, I don't know where that came from. But then I look at it, and one of my friends was like, man, you're a third generation truck driver. I'm just like, huh? For real? Okay, cool. I guess that was for me too. Then from there, I just came off the road and I was like, well, I'm still trying to get all my friends and family invested into something and get this something that we can leave somebody. So I went on and launched the pressure washing company, and then it just spin. And then, I mean, we got clothing store. It's big, man.
It's a lot.
Big.
I'm about to say, just hearing it, and even when I started the interview, like I don't know what when we wanted to talk about today, like I said, you're so just multifaceted, but I think that is needed. And then sometimes too, it's unexpected, but all in all, it's still God's plan. Still, you probably would have never guessed that you'd be in all of these different avenues, but here you are just making it work one way at a time. So now, more specifically, getting into the avenues with each one, whether it be the bail bonding, the pressure washing, the clothing. How do you keep that balance between each one, but still give your all to it, still make sure that each one is progressing and moving forward the way you would like it to?
I think it's all about the focus. I hear a lot of people say focus on one business, make that grow. But, I mean, you turn that to what you want to turn it to. All businesses don't operate in the same hours. So I really came to the utilization of time. And that's one thing I learned being in this fraternity. You know, shout out to the bros, but
Every time.
like, just with time, you can do anything. If you know how much time you got, there's nothing that cannot be accomplished. Because time just keeps going, it's never ending. So everything basically aligns based off the time of the day. I mean, weekends I'm not hauling cars. It's not no really cars, transportation going on. So what better than cutting grass and pressure washing? I mean, it comes with tons of sacrifices every day. Tons of maybe not even getting the best sleep or the most sleep. But when you're doing it for somebody else, it make you get up. Make you go.
And I think you couldn't have ended that even a little bit better. Just it's not about you anymore. It's much bigger than that. It's really just about being selfless and understanding that, look, this is I recognize where I grew up from. I recognize the opportunities or what have you, not so much opportunities that these people sometimes haven't been afforded or have been afforded. So it's not about me anymore. I want to make sure that, yeah, I might want to start and done or keep my foundation there, but like you said, it's so much more to the world to see. We out here, just like I said, the views and just have seen some things this weekend that told us, like, look, even just in talking to Jalen and you're not working hard enough. You got to keep working, even when you feel like you just on multiple businesses for the people. I'm here, I'm losing sleep. I'm still not working hard enough. It's always something that you can still do there.
It's always somebody you can help.
Absolutely.
Always.
And I feel like just for as much as you as hard on yourself, there's somebody out there pushing themselves just that much too. Trying to make things work, trying to make things right. Okay, so they kind of just line in, like you said, from the weekends to the weekdays, just losing sleep and everything like that. So what would you say, and this might really just be a hard question to answer, when it comes to For The People and the biggest sacrifice you've had to make, what does that look like for you? Like, what have you really had to do for this business to make sure that it's continuously elevating, but you're still serving the people and not losing that mission?
Oh, that's not really even the hardest thing, because I mean, growing up, coming from a lot less, you always wanted more. And straight when I thought I made it, which was, man, I graduated. I did what everybody said couldn't be done. I had the biggest slap in my face, because it was like, I went and bought a car that just financially didn't make sense. It made a ton of sense when I first was looking at it, and when I was finally buying me a car.
Right.
And you feel me, like you getting something that nobody's really ever seen. I mean, nobody's even drove one around here like that. So when you pop it out in one of those cars, you're like, okay, cool, I'm on top of the world. And then I looked at, yeah, I'm on top of the world, but what about everybody else around me? What are they looking like? Is that car bigger than them? Like, is that car worth more? So then when I started sitting in business and like started actually taking time out, having to run from the school system where I was teaching, mentoring, helping coach, to literally going straight from there to cutting grass. I mean, you gotta think, a Challenger couldn't pull nothing. Can't pull no trailer, can't do nothing.
Right.
So I'm sitting here the whole time, this car's sitting on the carport. You talking about someone that's just spending money every month. Like, you're talking almost $1,000 a month on a car that sits under a carport and doesn't get drove unless I got free time on the weekend or whatever. And I mean, it hurts you because you're thinking about it as in the sense of, well, what are people gonna think about you? Like, oh, he can't afford it, he can't do this. And I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna keep my car. And I kept saying, I went through it a couple times. I talked to my line brother about it. Like, man, like, bruh, this car does me no good. But that's what people know me as. Like, that's what people see. And I was like, that's me. But then I kept like running it through, and I'm just like, man, it doesn't make sense. if I want to get to where I want to get to help the people I need to help, to reach the people that I need to reach, maybe this is a loss I need to take. And literally, it hurt me to my core to watch that car. Like, I had to sell it. But I sold it, and business took off. And it was like, I don't know if I was waking up and God was just putting that on my heart. Like, you don't need that. If you really want to do it, you're going to have to give up one of your most prized possessions. And that car was my everything at one point. Like, that was my go-to. That was my baby. Like, but I had to let it go. It freed up so much money that it was nothing I couldn't do to help somebody.
And just hearing that just lets you know, and even in speaking with some of my previous guests, just about sometimes what goes on behind the scenes, just that people may not necessarily know the full details about in order to successfully run your business. Because like you said, you kind of know what you want, you know what it takes for it, you're where you want to be. But for everybody else, you're trying to serve, basically. You're trying to appeal to them. But that's multifaceted with various businesses, with other people. So like you said, a car, I wouldn't have even tied the two together. And I think maybe somebody hearing this interview, or maybe looking at he's a bail bonding company, or he does power washing, or he does the lawn care. But look where you had to climb from in order to get everything where I think the process is definitely beauty in the struggle. And like you said, at one point that was your all. So to have to go back and forth to write down to see if the pros outweighing the cons, to go talk to somebody else about it, just let you know how serious that was to you, just let you know what the type of effort that you really had to put in for it. But like you said, once you change things up, look what happened for you. Look what boomed for you. So with everything that you offer, all of the services and everything that you're even trying to do here still, what would you say would be your biggest way to get your message out there to the people? Are you kind of a word of mouth guy? Are you just in a community where once you kind of start to do a couple of things, it kind of just starts to circulate, everybody knows? How did that look for you?
I mean, I'm not really a person to talk much. I'm probably seen to most people as antisocial, but I'm very observant. So to me, just the name, like, anybody sees my truck, you can't miss it.
I know.
You've seen it. If you've seen it, you've seen it.
Yeah.
And everybody's seen it. But the thing is, at that moment that you've seen it, it was serving. And that's wherever you see it. Like, if you see it on a billboard, they serving. It's serving. Like, it should just be an inspiration, not only to the black people, but like, man, this man really, like, it's everywhere. I want it everywhere. Like, I want it to be doing something in everybody's community. Like, and I think the biggest thing is the youth. Like, I want the little black boys, little white boys, whatever color, anybody that's younger generation that believe that there is only one way to get money, to do something, to help somebody. Like, the money's gonna come in that service. But if you serve, that's way, man, seeing the smiles, that's way bigger than anything you can pay me, man.
Something that I attribute a lot to, something that I even learned outside of really business, impact over income. Just in knowing that you're, like you said, the money is going to be there. You're gonna be able to make it happen. You're going to be able to make it shake. But just the fact that, like you said, seeing the smile. Hey, he changed I had somebody come on the podcast and say that one of the most inspirational things he ever heard was a kindergartner saying he wanted to grow up and be just like him, giving him a book bag. He allowed him to come in and just get some school supplies, something that he's growing up, he didn't have the best access to resources, so he couldn't do everything that he wanted to do. So just in hearing sometimes what you did for somebody else, or even like, I know sometimes people say, hey, I want to leave behind this or be remembered for that, or I want to make sure that everybody's taken care. I just want to, sometimes for me, the simplest thing is really just being remembered as somebody who impacted the lives of others, somebody who changed, somebody who was known to give their last even if they didn't have it, or somebody who was just being selfless. So I think I hear a lot of that in you, but I also hear a lot of that in the mission that you're trying to push out, the business that you're trying to do. So, and even in speaking towards that mission too, when it comes to, obviously you offer a plethora of services, you do a lot of things, you're constantly on the go. How does that look in terms of working with other people, bringing other people on into the business, kind of wanting them to help you out and things like that? Because I know, like you said, you're kind of a reserved guy. You're not going to put, everybody doesn't need to know, basically, but not saying that you're being secretive, but just saying, hey, I know what I want to do. I know how I want to move about it. That's what I'm going to do. So how does that look when other people are kind of approaching you or wanting to become a part of the business, or even you may need help?
And then it goes right back to the God-given name it has. It's for the people. So if somebody needs me, It's there. Take it. Do it. You can take it. You can use it.
Okay.
Like, we support. That's without a doubt. Whatever you need, we support. But it's all in the sense of where is your mindset and what is your goal between it. Because if you're not providing a service or helping anybody, and this is all for your gain, it's not for the people. So you won't ever see us really with that. I mean, that's really the simplest thing about it. Like, I mean, I try to bring all of my homeboys, friends into business. All of them at this current moment has some type of percentage inside of For The People. And I mean, that's my circle. And I mean, not many people would know that, but like just the fact that they work everyday lives or everyday jobs and stuff, like they have everyday lives, do whatever. But the thing is, they also are learning business just because this is exactly the mission of For The People, that we need to know everything that we grew up lacking and understanding things that we've so-called and blamed other people for so long, that it's time to get this for ourselves and stop at nothing to have it.
So for somebody, devil's advocate just a little bit here, for somebody who just feels like it's not, sometimes it's more so about you have to stick to a certain path, or there, like you said, there's a, and I want to really agree with you when you say it's the money is out here, the connections are out here. You got to do what you got to do. Sometimes place yourself in those
Mm-hmm.
situations, or sometimes just be placed in those situations. But what do you say to somebody who is just feeling discouraged, or just feeling like just because they don't have the same opportunities as somebody else, or because they're not presented or raised in the same way, that they just can't make it in life just the same? How do you kind of respond or combat when somebody thinks like that?
That's an everyday battle. You can't make anybody believe anything. You can't change people's thoughts. And a lot of people are not even believing in themselves when they're making that statement. I think a lot of that has to come with you won't never know until you try. And when you try, if you're already looking at, well, it didn't happen this way, it didn't happen that way, you still ain't tried yet. It's got to go deeper than that. It's almost to where you're sacrificing yourself to make it happen. And at that moment, when you put your all in it, is exactly when you're gonna get something back. You really gonna like the energy that you put into it, it comes back. So if you only put a little bit of work to it, you can only expect a little bit of work back. So I would say like the biggest thing is just if you're gonna do it, do it. And I tell my mentee this all the time. If you're gonna play, play. But if you're really gonna do business, then be about business. And that's life, like a life lesson I try to teach him every time. Like literally he called me about certain things and I just be like, you playing. Like you literally playing. Cause I mean, even a guy talked to me on the phone, he said, you're like Kobe, man, right now. He said you're scoring 24, but you could score 40. Like, why you holding back? And it's you think that I be thinking that I'm not playing. I'm being about business. But then when you listen to somebody else looking on the outside, he like, bro, that ain't even enough. Go harder, just like you said earlier. Like, so I had to step back on the gas pedal. Like, man, okay, I'm gonna ease up a little bit. Nah, you gotta go in for a throttle. Like, willing to just, I mean, crash out at best. I mean, people crashing out for way less. I mean, people are losing their lives for way less. So if anything can be a positive, why not?
And that kind of dates back too for my the Travis Manion Foundation. Travis Manion was somebody who actually attended my high school, and his the slogan behind it was always "If not me, then who?" And I think about that constantly. If I'm not going to put my all in towards it, or if I'm not even going to, like you said, come in full throttle, or be willing to crash out, be willing to just take that risk, then who is? Like
Right.
if, like you said, if I'm not serving the people, then who is? If I'm not being selfless and putting myself out there, then who is? So that's something, like you said, that's almost an everyday life battle, just something that you have to kind of get with or get right within yourself. So I definitely like what you said there. I definitely think you touched on some great things. Now, when it more so when it comes to For The People, do you set any type of goals for yourself for the business, or is this kind of like do you wake up every day just just kind of going full throttle. You just know what you have on the horizon. You know what you have to get done. I know every day is different. I done called you sometimes and you just said that you just been in something or something came up. Things happen, especially with business, like you said, losing sleep, being on the road. So how does that look like for your business with having so many different entities for it? How do you kind of keep everything under wraps?
A lot of that is based off the people that are serving. The goal, I mean, the highest goal is to reach everybody.
Right.
I mean, that's highly, we're not sure how we're going to quite attain reaching everybody, but there's people just even still in our community that we haven't got to yet. So until we get at least the people that we can reach in our community, then hey, we done did something.
Right.
We ain't did it all, but we did something.
Right.
And I mean, I think that's what wakes me up every day and has me set a new goal. It's just like, who can I help today? What can we do today? Like, and every business has become a business because of somebody asked for this service. Somebody needed this. Somebody came and was like, hey, we don't have nobody that can do this. We don't. Okay, cool. I don't mind.
Right.
I might have not ever done it before, but I'm going to try to do it for you. Like, and it just so happened a lot of the things has been things that I've actually taught through my dad and parents and grandparents, that it was little skills that I never knew they gave me the whole time that pays the most, like paved the way for me, honestly.
Growing up, I know you always, your parents always say, or older generations, they always just say, you're going to thank me later. You're going to remember this, or
yes,
it might not make sense in the moment. And man, if that isn't just more far from, well, not even more far, that's the closest thing to the truth I've probably ever heard, is just hearing it in a moment, or just being told, or certain things, or not being allowed to be certain things, whether it be hanging with, I can't thank my mom, my dad enough for putting that, what seemed as like strict, or just being unfair, or just being hard on me. It really, I think, shaped a lot of my morals, my mindset,
Right.
My principles, how I move, and I think I need that, and I think it also shows too with who you surround yourself with, and then who you realize you can't surround yourself with. Because
Right.
we talked about it earlier, and we down here with all like-minded individuals, all kind of here with the same wave, the same process, the same mantra. So, and then you just realize how other people ain't just moving the same. And sometimes you just got to separate yourself from that, because I can't let you deter me from where I need to go, what I'm trying to do. So, okay, I'm all with that 100%. Now, just in thinking about the business side of things, just in thinking about where you are right now, where you want to be, or even just, yeah, where you want to be. If somebody kind of was to hear this interview, was to see your company, was to see your truck, and really just want to know, well, what really, like, what is this all about in the end? Like, when it's all said and done, whether you stop pressure washing, whether you add a new business, whether you continue to do the lawn care, whether you add more to the team, become this global entity, or whatever the case may be, is what ultimately, like, do you have like a mantra for the people? I know some people have like mission statements. I know some people have like goals. Like you said, ultimately this was you realizing, like, growing up and realizing that it's not just about you anymore. You want to serve kind of a bigger community, but with everything that you encompass into one, how do you present that to people when they kind of want to know more about your business, more about what you do, more about the name, more about who you're serving, why you're serving? Because sometimes people just, they don't know.
I don't even think we've written down a mission statement, but the motto is just treating people as our own. So we're gonna do in whatever we have to do for you as if we was doing it for ourselves, as we was doing it for our mom, grandparent. I mean, your grandma, your sister, brother, cousin, auntie, uncle. We're gonna do it just like we was doing it for them. I would prefer that we just be able to, like, literally just talk about it. If you're curious, like, you want to know, like, it's a lot of stuff that you see, but you're not having a relationship. I think, to me, my goal is that everything to be relationship based. Like, I want you to feel like, even to the worker that blows off the sidewalk, that you can literally talk to him about how the business is, like what the attitude is around us, and how we approach things. Because to me, we don't talk enough. We don't have enough relationships with people. We got a lot of stuff that's services, but can you call on that person? my line is open at any time. Like, I haven't, my business number is my personal number. If you call that number, I ain't gonna say 40 people now. I can promise you that. But I will speak to you, and because it's so many services, I can't just say 40 people lawn care or 40 people. It's like, hey, how you doing? Let me know what you need. I relay it to where we need to get it to, and we're gonna actually come. We're not gonna actually just say, oh yeah, we're gonna quote it. We're gonna look at an aerial view. Like, we're gonna actually be there. We're gonna talk to you, and I mean, we're gonna give you the best price that we can do for anything. We're gonna give you the best service that we can do. And if we can't do it, then we'll find somebody or put somebody else into the place of, hey man, you need to check these people out. Look out for them.
For sure, and just in one way or another, in one avenue or another, just always wanting to be able to help, be able to serve. I know a lot of times, when not even a lot of times, but we hear about how sometimes when a certain person can't do something, or a certain business or expectation or need can't be met by said person or said business, they just kind of blow it off, or they just kind of, okay, well, I can't do that, but hopefully you find somebody who will, or maybe the case. But you, like you said, if you know that you can't do it, or you know that it can't be done, you'll make sure that a connect comes in, or you'll make sure that it gets taken care of. So I think that also goes to show that it's not just about just for the people. It's about just wanting to, meaning for the people just as a business, but it's more so just about, like you said, it don't matter, aunt, uncle, grandmother, it needs to get done. I want to help, I want to serve. So if I can't directly do it, if my business can't directly do it, I'm gonna make sure you still benefit from this. And I think that that's an attitude needed with business, with life, with all of that. So just before we wrap things up right now, what would you say is there anything in the near future that you're looking forward to when it comes to For The People, whether it be maybe a collaboration, or you add another service to the arsenal, or just looking forward to working with anybody? You have anything in the works that you can kind of just give us a little preview for, or are you really just working day by day, just making it happen?
I think the biggest thing is getting back into the mentoring and just like the nonprofit work, just being able to be an open door. I think the biggest thing that we're looking forward to is at my high school, there's a billboard with nothing but businesses on it. I've walked down that path to the field house for at least 20 years, even since my brothers. There's never on any of those signs going into that stadium where a lot of our kind walk that same path. There's never been a black business on one of them signs. This year, it's gonna be one.
Pencil me in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's my goal. Everything else, we did it. By the grace of God, it happened. But I believe that's it.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Hey, it's nothing wrong with. We need goals. We need expectations. We need to we need to be hard on ourselves. I feel like it gives us that drive. It gives us that push. Just when you feel like you settle, or just when you feel like you're not really making any progress, or hey, I did this, gotta go a little hard, like you said. But also too, something that I'm starting to realize, like you said, we did everything God's plan, but celebrate the small stuff. Celebrate what you do, even when nobody's looking, or when you don't realize, hey, I knocked this off today. I picked up a new client. I reached out to a new business. That's what I was telling myself too. I'm just like, I'm getting mad at myself, or getting down on myself for not hitting the plays as much as I want to, or not putting out episodes as much as I want to. But yo, you just got some gear, man.
Yeah.
You out here now. You just did a live interview. I'm looking at the country list of where my podcast is hitting. I'm adding new country, so it's just like, come on, yo. As much as I know how, but it's also frustrating too when you just you want something so bad, or you just start something so bad, and you know where you want it to be, but you just know that you got to go here, and you're just not there yet. So like, we all got goals, but like Kendrick just said, pencil him in for that spot up there For The People. So I definitely want a big shout out to my dog Kendrick Harris for sitting down with me today, and just talking about For The People. Definitely glad to be out here, to be enjoying it. Like I said, I did just celebrate my birthday and everything, so definitely that was a good time.
Did it big in MIA, man. MIA.
Yeah, so definitely glad to hear that, to be here, to everybody out there listening, and the continued support. Thank you so much. This has been another episode of the Down to Business podcast with Tamar Turner, and definitely be excited for this drop when you see it, just because I got some stuff coming for y'all, like you said. So Another shout out to my dog Kendrick Harris. Another shout out to For The People. Y'all make sure y'all check him out and everything that he has to offer. And I'm gonna make sure that I drop it in the bio when I release everything, just so that y'all can really take advantage of the services and maybe even a potential partnership. So once again, thank you for listening to the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner.
We appreciate you, bro.